Welcome to Black Belt Beauty Radio, a podcast fueled by a passion to support your journey in developing your most beautiful and optimal performance in life. Each episode is driven with the intention to elevate your mind. When we elevate our mind, we elevate our life. So get ready. It's time to rise. Hey everyone, what's up? Welcome back to Black Belt Beauty Radio. So we are in the final 3 months of 2019, you guys. But not only that, we're in the final 3 months of an entire fucking decade. So gnarly when you frame it that way, right? And that's why I did it on purpose, because I want this to be gnarly. I really want to drive that point home here in this episode. And ultimately what I want to do with this episode is I want it to be a support system for you to not only finish the end of the year and the end of the decade very powerfully, but I want this to serve as these next 3 months to serve as a runway for you to be able to launch from when 2020 comes around, right? So rather than trying to do that after January 1st, which, I think it's more typical to kind of be looking at your goals and doing all that stuff like right around the new year, let's do it now. Like, let's get ahead of it now. But what I'm not going to do is sit here and ask you to like evaluate your whole life and do your, let's try and develop 10 new habits and do the whole thing. No, it's actually going to be a lot more simple. However, sometimes some of the simple things are actually the hardest to do. And the reason why is because I'm going to ask you to commit to something. And that tends to be the hardest part for people. So the question that I want to ask is this, you guys. What is one empowering change that you can offer yourself in your life with full commitment to for the next 3 months of this year, the last 3 months of this year and of this decade? So let me give you some examples, because this is going to vary in all of your lives, right? I want it to be something, I want it to be in a space that you feel the most stagnant, where you feel you've been putting something off, or where it's most low vibrational, where you could be doing better, but you're not applying your better for whatever reason, What is that area for you? Some people it'll be fitness. Some people it'll be diet. Could you cut out sugar? Could you start waking up earlier to take more time to, have for the gym, or even for meditation, or writing in your journal, or spending time with your loved ones, something like that. Again, it's going to look different for everybody. Is there, can you start saving some money, $10 a day, right? Like a coffee or whatever. Or isn't that crazy that coffee's like almost $10 now? But yeah, something like that. Because here's the thing. The reality is, you guys, that everything affects everything. And that one, in quotations, small change over here in this section will most definitely change the entire picture, because that's just how it all works in life. Like, everything is energy. And, you might not see it in the beginning. You might not be able to draw the connection. But here, I'll paint a picture for you to really drive it home. If your commitment is, I want to wake up earlier every morning so that I can start, my day with some kind of activity, movement, and, come a month later, you're in it and you're feeling a lot better. And so now you're looking at your diet and you're going, I'm really inspired to be eating more greens, or adding more nutrient-dense foods into my diet, because you're just feeling so good and you want to progress your physical activity too. Like, maybe you want to lift heavier weights now or something like that. Totally go with me. I'm painting a picture. So then now you start incorporating some more nutrient-dense foods, and now you're really feeling good. I mean, you're just, your body's getting beautiful work done from the physical sense to, the nutrition sense. And overall, you just feel better and you have more energy. And now this energy is now moving into your work life. You're feeling more creative. You're feeling more inspired. It's now trickling into your relationship, your family life. You have more energy to play with your kids, to go on a date with your loved one, something like that. The point is that everything affects everything. So I think oftentimes, people want to do this whole like big revamp of life. Like, oh, if I don't do the whole thing, like if I'm not attacking my money goals or attacking my business goals or attacking, then I'm not really going to make a big change. But the truth is that is a setup for failure, because it's really, really hard to change, like to resurface your entire life in when you don't have the habit set up yet, right? But one habit change, one empowering shift will shift your entire life when you are committed to it, right? So that's a key word here. You got to be committed. And here's, aside from the results that you will get from doing the work that comes with this one empowering shift change, is the beautiful thing is that you get to witness yourself being very committed. I personally get a lot of confidence from showing up, from witnessing myself show up to do the work every single day that is helping me to expand myself, my self-development, ultimately expand my life in a very desired way, right? I'm seeing that, not only do I have this beautiful vision of life and, goals and things I want to create, but I'm actually showing up with full commitment to do the work that is necessary to call this into my reality. And that's very, very empowering, right? And it's kind of a sidestep, but just to, give you a little bit more on that, that is very powerful at times when shit gets hard and feels uncertain, because, I can look in myself and go, have you been showing up and doing the work? Like, have you truly been doing it to the best of your ability? And the answer is, yeah, I've been committed. I've been doing this. So, there might be a glitch in the system that I can't understand yet, but something will unfold for me and I can lean into that very confidently. And that is literally what goes down a lot of times when I'm faced with uncertainty or challenge. So it's just the idea of deciding, being very clear, and then being very committed, showing up and doing the work. So, I really want you guys to kick ass in life, period. But as you know, we are stepping into the end of this decade. I know that typically this is a time of year where most people aren't really thinking about how to, get more disciplined or change a habit. I mean, that's usually a New Year's thing, right? New Year's resolution and all that. But that's most people. And I don't feel like people, all of you who listen to this podcast are like most people. I think the one thing, if only one thing, that we have in common, which I'm sure we have a lot more, is that we are striving for excellence in our life. We don't want to be average and mediocre. We want to make impact. We want to live from our highest expression. That is literally what Black Belt Beauty means. It's living from the highest expression of your life. And that is a beautiful life to be living. So, in order to do that, we have to be willing to do the things that most people aren't willing to do, right? So maybe while people typically are, kind of, taking their foot off the gas this time of year and, stepping away from, their nutrition, their healthy habits and, things of that nature, this is where you are actually doing the opposite. And I'm not asking you again to do this whole makeover. It's just one thing, because also here's a very important piece to add in, you guys. At the end of the year, when you can look back, and I mean, I think that, in doing whatever it is that you're going to do and commit to, you're going to have results along the way that will be, very validating to your actions. But at the end of the year, when you look back and you go, shit, from that moment 3 months ago when I got very clear and I decided with full commitment that I was going to make this one empowering change, and I've done it. I've actually done it. I created this habit, or I did this new thing. I've applied this. I've added this new thing to my life. Or I stopped doing this thing or whatever, and replaced it for this, whatever that looks like for you. That is winning energy. That is the energy that I want you to roll in to 2020 with. That is the energy that I'm rolling with. Tell you what, I'm ready to go, So I want to do this with you. I want us to all do it together. If you need an accountability partner, DM me on Instagram by all means, and I'll do my very best to, keep checking in on you, or, and keeping you accountable on your mission, on your path. I want to see you guys win. I want us to all win together. It's that is being a very, that's being a contributor to this life and to the society, is kicking ass in your own life, right? It's really powerful. It affects everybody. In my personal life, when I see my friends and my family winning and gaining and expanding in amazing ways, that impacts me in the most beautiful, positive ways as well. And even if it's not someone in my inner circle, but I see other people winning on the outside, maybe other people who are podcast hosts or makeup artists, like, fuck yeah, like I want to see that win because, I know that if, they can do it, I know that I can also do it too, and I know that other people look at me and my wins in life and think the same thing. Well, if she can do it, I can do it. And it's true. It's really true. And we can bounce off each other and utilize each other's energy in this way. So I'm telling you straight up, if you want an accountability partner, hit me up and I will do my very best to hold that down for you, and so that we can get through this next final segment of this decade in 2019 together, with this kind of winning, I got this attitude, and then kick ass right at the start of 2020 together. There's a lot of big things coming up for the podcast. I'm so psyched about you guys. Part of this, the last 2 weeks, I've been hyper focused on and really, getting the guests that I want to get on to this podcast. It takes a lot, a lot of scheduling, trying to align with people who, don't live close by. So I got to travel. There's all kinds of things. But the goal for me is I want to get the most powerful people on this podcast for you. And I have some powerful fucking people lined up, ready to go. And I'm so excited about it. So there's so much to look forward to in this space. But back to you and your life, you guys. I'm going to end this episode with this one question one more time. What is one empowering shift or change, habit, thing that you can do in your life right now in a space where you haven't necessarily been feeling your best, or it's been stagnant, or you could do better? That if you just did a little bit of this or that, like that it would make a big difference. What's that one thing that you can commit to? Just one. Just one. Isn't that beautiful? It's just one. But when you decide, write it down too, please, because that's so helpful. Write it down, tell somebody, hit me up, DM me. But when you decide, you go all in. You got to go all in. You got to go all in. And I'm just going to give you this little bit of, support. Let's just say you start, and let's just say you fuck up. Let's just say you start. You get your whatever. You're waking up all next week early, but then the following week, oops, 2 days went by and I don't want you to beat yourself up. I don't want you to do that. That will stop everything. Guilt stops everything and throws you. It's like the ultimate killer. Trust me. Just start all over again. We got 3 months, one thing. Write it down, commit to it. Show up every day to do the work. If you mess up, it's okay. The next day, start all over. Don't harp on it. Don't feel bad. None of that shit. You just keep it moving. Okay. We're in this together, you guys. And I love that. I love being here with you, for you, and I'm excited about everything that's coming. So you guys, thank you for spending your time here with me. I hope that this has felt inspiring for you and that you are going to commit to one thing. And I would love to know about it. If you feel inclined to share it with me, DM me. I'm Black Belt Beauty. I am also Roxy Look. I will say that if you want me to be your accountability partner, Black Belt Beauty will be the best Instagram profile to DM me for this specific thing. So I love you all, you guys. Keep kicking ass, and I will catch you on the next one. Thanks so much for tuning into this episode, you guys. If you loved it, please share it on your social. Throw it up on your Instagram stories and tag me. I'm at Black Belt Beauty. I am also at Roxy Look, RoxyLook. I love connecting with you guys. This is a conversation that I want to just continue growing with you guys. So if you feel inspired to hit me up, do so in that space. I always enjoy hearing from you. If you'd like to support this podcast, you can do so by rating it and reviewing it via iTunes. It's such supportive help, you guys. It really helps the visibility of this podcast. So I appreciate and thank you in advance for doing that. And last but not least, if you are interested in starting your own podcast, or perhaps you already have one and you need help
with, editing your audio and the production of it. I cannot recommend my producers enough. Resonate Recordings, you guys, they are the bomb. I rely on them. They are an absolute supportive tool to me and my podcast. So check them out and let them know that Black Belt Beauty sent you. And on that note, you guys, I'm signing off with all my love and always looking forward to catching you on the next.